Hello, everybody. I hope all my equipment's working. I don't know if anybody's even here, but I decided to go live as kind of a tailgating event for EEBS coming up. EEBS is going live. They're all at Pulpfest, so that should be really fun. But I figured I'd go live, maybe talk a little bit about some of the pulp I have. I don't have a lot, not the traditional definition of pulp. But I thought that I would show off a few things, see if people show up. Maybe I can show off certain aspects of the collection. If you're interested in seeing anything specifically, let me know in the comments. And then I'll just show off some of these interesting pulps that I got. I mean, I probably have more than this, but I just pulled 4. Yeah, so we're going to be tailgating here for the EEBS show. Once this is done, we'll all head over there and see what they're doing. And until then, oh, all right. Andrea's here. Andrea and I don't have anything to do today, it looks like. Andrea was live earlier on Roy Reads Anything's channel. It was really good. I woke up early for it. And it was absolutely worth it because they went on pretty early, although I don't think it was early for their time zones. But yeah, so let's see what I got here. I pulled up a couple of things, and I think these count as pulps. The most pulpy thing that I have is, believe it or not, a copy of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. And this one... It's probably my favorite copy of it. I've never read this specific copy. I don't know if it's the 1818 text or what it is, but this is probably one of the pulpiest books that I have. Oh, I guess I can get it closer up here. No, that's too close. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Frankenstein is in some kind of, looks like 40s clothes back there. And he's just killed, I assume, well, okay, this is the monster, not Frankenstein, sorry. And I assume he's just killed Victor Frankenstein's fiance there. That is, I think, the pulpiest, by definition of pulp, the pulpiest book that I have. That is a lion book. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. All right. It's all for you, Jake. We're excited. I'm excited to see you guys live at the event. Also, I didn't realize how tall Jake was. I know that so far a couple, like when I met Richard Rempel, he came down and I saw him last December. He was much taller than I expected him to be, and apparently Grammaticus is very tall as well. And so is Jake. So I would love to see a picture of them all standing next to each other so that we could see who is taller. Let's see. I bought Whole Steve. I think Dagon Studios is saying he bought the Whole, which is a book that I recently did on the channel that I absolutely loved, Hiroko Oyamada. It's absolutely fantastic. Yes, Jake, that is the picture we all want to see right there. Grammaticus, Jake, and Richard Rempel standing next to each other to see who's tallest in Speedos. So Dagon, are you responding to the story itself, or did you read it? It is definitely quite an adventure. Let me see. I'll grab this really quick. If I stand up in this video, there's going to be moments. I don't have my co-host, so there's going to be moments where you won't be able to see me. But maybe if I keep talking, you can hear me. I don't know. But you know I'm going to get up and down for these live shows. Yeah, this is the one that I recently did. Thanks for jumping on, Jake. We're looking forward to seeing you, man. We'll talk to you in a couple hours. I wonder how much money they've spent collectively. These are the kind of questions that we're going to have to ask them when they go live. Yeah, I just did this on the channel, and it was really, really enjoyable. Also, I don't think I can show it here, but the thumbnail that I made for this video with the person in the grass just kind of falling face first into the grass, and I put Alice in WTF land, I think is probably my favorite thumbnail ever. And now I want a copy of that cover of this book, which is not the English version. So yeah, hopefully someday I'll get that copy of the book, because that thumbnail was hilarious. Saw Tim's video from Pulpfest. Wish I could be there. It looks great. Agreed. It looks wonderful. I'm jealous of everybody out there. It looks like a ton of fun. I thought about it, but my daughter's birthday is in a couple of days, and she just recently started driving and got her first job, and it just was not a good time for me to go out there, so I had to skip it. But maybe I can get everybody together to go to Texas. I don't know when this happens, but there's a spot in Texas where Robert E. Howard's lived, and they have a festival every year for him. I don't know if it's his birthday or what time they choose to do it, but it'd be a fun time for everybody to get together. All right, more pulp stuff. I don't know if this really counts as pulp. I mean, it's strange because there's so much that I call pulp. Does 80s and 70s and 80s horror paperbacks count as pulp? If so, then I've got so much pulp back here. But this to me is kind of what pulp really is. But I did pull down my copy of Interview with a Vampire, Anne Rice's Interview with a Vampire, just because of this incredibly strange cover. Nothing else looks like this that is connected to this book. I think the hardback, I think I have a BCE copy of it, is just like gold with the words on it, but this is like old school romance. I absolutely loved it. What's up? Okay, I constantly forget who's who here, so Sci-Fi Finds, tell me your name. I confuse Jake and Robin. Sci-Fi Finds, and now I can't even remember the other channel name. What is it? Sci-Fi Finds, and anyway, tell me your name, Sci-Fi Finds. It totally does. I think that's it exactly. Joe, you not working? Oh, yes. Bookspin, Robin, Bookspin, who I'm reading with. We're doing Clifford Simak's book, City. That's coming up soon. And I know that we're going to be doing it with Jim, News from the Gelding, which I'm super excited about. And I've started this once many about 2 years ago, and I remember the beginning of it was just people moving out of cities, I think, into rural communities, and it was this huge crisis, and they talked about it for what seemed to go on and on and on and on, and I kind of got bored and DNF'd it way back. But from what I've heard, the things that I can expect in here, specifically dogs and robots, I think I will absolutely love this. So yeah, I'm doing this with Robin. Jack, sorry, I think I said Jake. Jack, what's going on? Wonderful channel, Sci-Fi Finds. I enjoy a lot of the stuff you put up over there. So thank you for joining us. And Joe looks like he's not working. So that's awesome, because usually Joe's in and out. So hopefully this time Joe can stick around and chat with us. All right, now I have a question. I found a strange thing. Oops. I like City quite a bit, quite cohesive for what I think is a fix-up novel. I think it is a fix-up novel. I think you're absolutely right. I just read Dissertation dissertation. I don't know why I'm having a hard time saying that all of a sudden. A few nights ago, which is from City. I like the book. Led me to rewatch Interstellar. Oh, interesting. So that must be one of the stories in here. And it's I don't know if they have notes on the third tale. Oh, they do. Yeah, they have names. I just passed one called Census here. So yeah, you guys can look forward to that in September. It's going to be fun. I have yet to crack open my hardcover of City. I've never seen a hardcover of City. That's awesome. All I've ever seen, I know this for a while. I had 2 copies and I kept this one. And this little guy, speaking of pulp covers, looks like a DJ to me. Like somebody's got to take this image and use it for their badass DJ record because it looks like a robot DJ to me. I'm curious, have you ever read John Crowley? I just finished Engine Summer and I'm giving it a glowing review. Think he might be up your alley. I don't know who John Crowley is. No, I haven't read anything by him. What did you just read? It sounds interesting because I'm always looking for new stuff to read. What story are you on, Joe? I haven't finished it yet. I got to go back to it. I was doing it for story by story on the channel, and I just I got into other stuff, so I got to get back to it. Looks like Daft Punk and a DJ. Yeah, that's right. I wonder who did this. I wonder if it says. Ace doesn't always say who did the cover art. In memory of Scooty, who was Nathaniel. Interesting. I might do some research on that, see if I can figure out who Scooty, who was Nathaniel, is. Yeah, it doesn't tell me who does that. If anybody wants to pop on to the Internet Speculative Fiction database and tell us who that artist is, please do. Just finished the Old Seaside Club. Okay, you're farther than I am. I am looking forward to getting into more of that. Her stuff is amazing. If you guys, was it Izumi Suzuki, I think her name is. Let me go grab this. I'll be right back. Sorry to leave you guys with dead air that long. I know that's a huge sin right there. Yeah, Izumi Suzuki, who was kind of an iconic woman in Japan. She was a model, very, very wild. I can't remember. She might have taken her own life. I don't remember. But she also wrote science fiction stories. And the 3 or 4 that I've read so far have been absolutely incredible. I've really been enjoying them. So yeah, Joe, I got to get back into these. The next story I'm reading is that Old Seaside Club. So I am right where you are. So I better read it pretty quick. Keep up with Joe. Okay. Oh, I'm at work just on a break. Dang it. Engine Summer. It's a post-apocalyptic book. A puzzle box of a book. Needs a deep reading and probably warrants a reread. Got recommended to me after I loved The Fifth Head of Cerberus so much. So The Fifth Head of Cerberus, or however you pronounce that, is Gene Wolfe. So yeah, that sounds like something that I really would like, Jack. Absolutely. I'll have to write it down. Hi, Constance. We're just doing a little bit of live tailgating before the EEBS Pulpfest video goes live. Please look into it. You have a great cover available to you in the U.S. that features a cat. Ooh, I like cats. That's awesome. I will. Absolutely. Wild Score 1. I don't know what that means, Constance. Tell us what that means. Original City cover would be a great t-shirt if you're talking about this one still. Yeah, I agree. That would make a good t-shirt. I got to start getting ready to, next time I go to Colorado, I got to make another batch of t-shirts. You guys expect t-shirts of me. It's all good. It's what happened when I changed jobs. Oh, Constance, you're gonna do Jake thing. Oh, that's wild. All right, there you go. It's so crazy making videos or going live. You figure out the ticks you have that you don't really think about. I found another weird thing that I want to see if any of you guys can help me with. It's called The Sinister Ray, and it's by I got to read this, Lester Dent. And it's produced by, it looks handmade, but it's produced by a publication company called Griffin. And I mean, it looks hand typed, but I've kind of looked into it, and it seems like these were actual releases, and I think it's a re-release of an old pulp that really wasn't around much anymore. So this Griffin Press decided that they wanted to make sure that this was always available. Looks like the artist is somebody named Wilbur from 87. Which is very, very interesting. I almost said wild there, Constance. Oh, but I said it anyway. Dang it. Yeah, does anybody know who Lester Dent is? I'm not familiar with Lester Dent at all. I don't know. I think he might, if I remember correctly, might have. Is he the one that has connection to Doc Savage? Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, I just don't know if this is up my alley. Doc Savage, I don't know if I'm really interested in, but this kind of looks like horror, so I don't know. I don't know what this is, or Lester Dent, or anything. But yeah, it's such a interestingly handmade book. This all comes from, there was somebody that collected old pulps that I better mute that. I'm sorry. Let me do that really quick. Yeah, there's somebody that collected old pulps that apparently is giving them all to my local friends at the library bookstore. And I've got a stack that I got to send to Nick from the book Graveyard because every time they come around, I take pictures of them and send them to Nick. And I'm like, what do you want, Nick? Because he knows that stuff way better than I do. But yeah, apparently this guy had to choose for space reasons between his history collection or his pulp collection. And he chose to get rid of his pulps. And I mean, it's just flooded the store over there. It's crazy. I found so much wild stuff. Oh, sorry. There it is again, Constance. Dent wrote all manner of pulps. Kenneth Robeson. Yeah, so I don't know. This might be horror. I might keep it. I can't decide. I don't know. I loved how, I mean, this just looks like a labor of love that somebody's just making sure this pulp stays around. I also got, that I really am excited about, Magazines I Remember by Hugh. Is it B? Yeah, Hugh B. Cave. So apparently, this is Hugh B. Cave writing to another Weird Tales writer, just reminiscing about what it was like to write for these old pulp magazines, but also reading them and enjoying them. And it's filled with Hugh B. Cave stories as well as letters. Robeson. We're still talking about Dent here. Robeson is the Doc Savage house name. Oh, okay. Yeah, so this is kind of a nonfiction book that looks absolutely interesting. And I have a Hugh B. Cave novel. Let's see if I can figure it out. It should be right back here. Yes. I think this is the same Hugh B. Cave. It must be. So I think this guy had quite a horror career, from weird tales all the way to 80s novels. So that was pretty exciting. And this is, I mean, it has an ISBN number, but this also has kind of a labor of love, Tattered Page Press, front cover by Kevin Duncan. This has, to me, a similar, not as homemade as that other one, but a similar feel to, this is a labor of love, of just people wanting to make sure that these stories and letters aren't forgotten. Really, really cool. Hubie Cave. That sounds like a made-up name. It does. It sounds like the beginning of some kind of... oh, Dent even wrote a shadow novel. That's interesting. So it looks like... I don't know. I'm going to have to give this Sinister Ray a read. See what I think and see what you guys think. That's all I pulled out, you guys. Seriously, what do you want to see? Is there any part of my collection you're interested in? Anybody have any questions? I can. I'll have to get up for a second, but I'm within reaching distance here of my entire collection. If there's any specific aspect of it that you're curious about, if you want to see old antiquarian books, I've got a ton of those. If you want to see horror, I've got a ton of those. My science fiction, Japanese literature, whatever. Tell me what you're in the mood for. I'll pull it down and we can look at it. Let's see what else I have around here. Anybody fans of Michael Crichton while we're waiting for questions? This is so strange because Michael Crichton, I've never read any Michael Crichton, but I think he counts as science fiction, right? Oh, interesting. Science fiction? You got to, Joe. It's really fun. It's a wild read. Yeah, so I picked this up the other day just because I was interested in whether or not this is science fiction. Michael Crichton, for some odd reason, just I never read him. Joe loves him. Book cover, I read Timeline by Crichton. Yeah, I don't know. I might have to try this out. It's also got kind of a colored text block there. I don't know if that... No, that had to be done by the publisher. Interesting. Old Michael Crichton. I also picked up the Hyperion Cantos recently. Which I think is the first two Hyperion novels. So I watched a lot of Moid, Media Death Cult, and he would do these huge yearly top 100 science fiction novels that would be all voted on or put together by his viewers. And Hyperion and Dune were always way up there at the very top. So it's something that I've been excited about for a long time. Plus, Dan Simmons is a horror writer as well. So I was like, man, Dan Simmons, science fiction, this sounds wonderful. My buddy is reading it right now, and he says that it's okay. He's only halfway through, but he says that it's okay. So I'm interested. Does this seem like something that my channel would like? Is this space opera, or is this kind of weird? I know it's a retelling of, or at least based a little bit on the Canterbury Tales, but I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if this is for me or not. The first Hyperion is great. The sequel detracts from it a bit. I did finish Willows, and I absolutely loved it. I really, I'm going to be making a video on it soon, so I don't want to say too much, but yes, that was, I love atmospheric horror like that. I love horror that is subtle, that I think creates such an amazing creep. I really enjoy it. I was just talking to my buddy about Edgar Allan Poe when we were talking about The Mask of Red Death, and I also brought up The Fall of the House of Usher. These two stories that just create a general dread without, very subtly. I mean, there are some moments of great horror, but there's an atmospheric quality to these Poe stories, and the Willows feels like a continuation of that concept. This subtlety to horror. It was absolutely wonderful. I wasn't a huge fan of Hyperion either. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, being up there so high up on Media Death Cult's, when he used to do the yearly top 100 sci-fi, I mean, with the amount of votes he was getting, I was like, man, this book has to be just absolutely incredible. Another one that was constantly on his personal top 100, of course, was the Gene Wolfe books, the Book of the New Sun, and I went and tried those out, and they're perfect for the channel. I absolutely loved them. I'm almost done. I've got like 30 pages left of Citadel of the Autarch, and I'm done with the first Book of the New Sun, and then eventually, of course, I'll move on to Earth of the New Sun. But yeah, that one was incredible. I was just really shocked to hear a negative review of this from my buddy. So maybe it's not for me. I don't know. We'll have to see. Let's see. Maybe off topic. Sorry if so. I just got here. Have you seen the Tripod series by John Christopher? I picked them up and found them very enjoyable. Chaptastic 4. This is my first time seeing you. Welcome to the stream. So Richard Rempel at Vintage SF did an incredible video on that series by John Christopher. Is that his name, John Christopher? Yeah. And I have been on the lookout for John Christopher. I think I have, yes, I can see it over there. I have a fantasy series by John Christopher. I know that the series you're talking about is the sci-fi story. This is, I think, his fantasy story. I love these covers. But to answer your question, no, I haven't read those yet. But when I watched that video by Richard Rempel, I'm now going to keep my eye out for him because it sounds incredible. To me, it sounded a little bit like, and I know this is a strange comparison, but it sounded a little bit like Red Dawn. I don't know if you guys remember the movie Red Dawn, but when I was a kid, that movie was really important to all of us. We just loved it. It was so fun. My brothers and I just absolutely adored it. And it kind of reminded me of that. So yeah, I think I've heard good things. Absolutely. And if you're looking for somebody talking about it, Richard Rempel's videos is really good. Back to work. We'll talk to you later, Joe. Hopefully next break, you'll be able to catch EEBS live. That's what's coming up. We're doing this all because EEBS is coming up, and they're going to be talking about their time in Pulpfest, which I am sad to miss. I only read one Crichton. It was an unfinished work completed by someone else. Not too good. Title escapes me. Great premise, I thought. Yeah, Michael Crichton. So he did the Andromeda Strain. What else did he do? I know that Mike from Mike's Book Reviews absolutely loves him. Did you get around to finishing Blackwater? Oh, no, that's Willows again. I don't know why I saw it Black Widow or Blackwater. Tripod. Oh yeah, that's fine. No, that's a really smart thing to do. If I don't get to your comment, just repost again. That doesn't bother me at all. That's the best way for me to make sure that I get it. Jurassic Park. Okay, so I don't know if I can remember this exact how this exactly works, but Jurassic Park and the original Westworld movie, I think, have a connection. And I think it is Michael Crichton, right? Yeah, Michael Crichton did Jurassic Park and Westworld. Christina Crichton. Christina did Coma and Jurassic Park, I think. And I find it funny because when I saw Jurassic Park when I was a kid, of course, and I loved dinosaurs. But when I saw Westworld for the first time, I was shocked by how similar those stories are. It seems like this is a story that is very important to Michael Crichton, that he keeps kind of retelling this idea of the park gone bad. First it was robots, right? Western robots, and then it's dinosaurs. This seems like something that he's really connected to. Yeah, Coma's Robin Cook. I read that one when I was a teenager. Let's see. Been watching your channel for a while. Love it. First time on a live show. Love it too. Unfortunately, got to go. I'll be coming back to watch the rest of the video. Thank you. Thank you. And if you can later, go check out the EEBS video that is coming up. Yeah, Robin Cook did a lot of, do I have Coma? I don't know if I do. Robin Cook did a ton of medical horror, right? Yeah. Yeah, theme park horror. Yeah, this crazy idea that the theme park turns on the viewers. He did twice. He did that idea 2 times, which I found really interesting. Let's see. Read Jurassic Park when it came out. Thought it was great. Card Stuntman. I don't recognize your name, so you must be new to the live as well. So welcome. All right, you guys haven't told me what part of my shelves to go look at, so I'm just going to keep talking about stuff that's sitting around me. I just finished this up, although that's not true. I didn't finish it up. I have like 20 pages, 30 pages left of the Citadel of the Autarch. Been really, truly blowing my mind. These are my reader's copies, so I'm going to be getting rid of these pretty soon, or not once that I'm done. And then I'll be moving on from to Earth of the New Sun. But wow, this was really incredible. And the first 2 books were like this first half, Shadow and Claw, were really difficult because I didn't know exactly what was going to, if I was ever going to be given the keys to solve these riddles. Eventually I was, and that made me very happy. This series wraps up beautifully. I was the guy who interviewed Alan Parsons. I think, yeah, we talked a long time ago. Yeah, that's incredible. You got to interview Alan Parsons. Oh, I just heard that the next big Alan Parsons release that's coming out is iRobot, which is absolutely incredible because that, I mean, for me, of course, the most important Alan Parsons project album for me personally is Tales of Mystery and Imagination. That mix of rock and horror was absolutely incredible. But a very close second to that is iRobot. And he was, of course, gonna base it on Isaac Asimov's iRobot, but he couldn't do that because Isaac Asimov had already sold the rights. But yeah, that's kind of what it's based on. Absolutely fun stuff. Let's see. He liked magic. Yeah, I don't know if it's his most recent anymore. He went on tour, and I took my mom, who introduced me to Alan Parsons. I grabbed her, and we went and saw Alan Parsons live, and it was the tour for, I have a poster of it here that I can't see. One of his more recent ones, and even that one was really incredible. I bought a copy of that and really enjoyed it as well. Yeah, iRobot is a great album. It really is. Let's see. Gene Wolfe is a true champ writer. Yeah, it's strange because he asks a lot of his readers. He really does. It's strange to me that we have to get this far in until we can get to here to start kind of understanding what's going on. But then it's like this makes this some of the best stuff I've ever read. It's really wild. I'm gonna have so much to say about these books. They're and of course I'll get Virgil on here with me to do a deep read of Autark. But yeah, I'm just gonna do a regular review of this whole thing, and I feel like I have so much to say about it. Yeah, I now understand the concept everybody says is you don't start reading Gene Wolfe until you start your reread. And that makes a lot of sense to me because the more I feel like I understand, the more I feel like I want to reread this one in order to put all that I know to use in those first two books. Oh, okay. Good. Akash, he's asking, can you please recommend some? Sorry if I said your name wrong, Akash. Can you please recommend some good sci-fi short stories? I love The Last Question. I don't know that one. 9 Billion Names of God. That one is, don't tell me, Clarke, Arthur C. Clarke. Microcosmic God is Sturgeon, one of my favorites. I do love Microcosmic God. What a wild story. And The Jaunt is Stephen King, right? Yeah. Okay. I think I have some that you might really like. My first suggestion has got to be Roger Zelazny's. Oh, the last question is Asimov. Okay, I don't know that one, but I've read Microcosmic God. I've read The Jaunt, and I've read 9 Billion Names of God. Those three I have read. What did I just say? Oh, Roger Zelazny. And the one that I'd recommend, I keep forgetting this. Everybody knows what I'm. I am sorry about that. I clicked like one stupid button on my mouse and then suddenly I was gone. That's crazy. Hopefully I'm back. Hopefully you are all back. Yeah, I showed 24 viewers. That was strange. I don't know if I was gone or what, but I clicked to a different page there. Okay. What is it? What is the name of it? I'm gonna have to grab the book here and see. Um, it's not Rose for Ecclesiastes. It is. Let's see what the name of this story is. Let's see if you guys can beat me to it. For a Breath I Tarry is the name of it. This is going to be tied with another story, which I'll talk about in a minute, for my favorite sci-fi story that I've read for the channel thus far. For a Breath I Tarry by Roger Zelazny is a post-apocalyptic story where every human is dead, and these satellites are and other machines that were made by humans to make their lives better are slowly, I guess, trying to figure out what they're going to do. Most of them are still working for humans, even though humans aren't there anymore. And it becomes, in many ways, a retelling of Genesis from the Bible, but it is done in such an interesting way. It's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I highly suggest that story. I grabbed it from a very large array, which is stories, New Mexico science fiction and fantasy. So these are all people that New Mexico claims as our own for science fiction and fantasy writers, and mine has quite a lot of signatures. One of them being Roger Zelazny, which is right there, I believe. Yeah. And named after the Very Large Array, which is in Socorro. And you can see kind of pictures of the Very Large Array there. Can you please repeat the name? Yes, the name is For a Breath I Tarry. And I don't think I can type it in. Oh, maybe I can. Yeah, For a Breath I Tarry. Maybe that'll go up. Hey, yeah. For a Breath I Tarry by Roger Zelazny is one I would suggest immediately. The other one that I would suggest, give me just a second so I can grab it here. I just got to make sure if this is an of or a the. I can't ever remember. This is a short story by R.A. Lafferty, who is a science fiction writer that I feel like gets kind of ignored, although I feel like he's come back a little bit. Okay, it's called Configuration of the North Shore. Configuration of the North Shore. Will that? Yeah, there you go. By R.A. Lafferty. And the book that's in is Orbit Number 5, which is a sci-fi anthology that is edited by Damon Knight. And this is the story. It's got a dream machine in it. There's a therapist that is using a dream machine to go in and view. I don't think he can affect, but he's going in and viewing the dreams of a patient. And this patient keeps having recurring dreams that they are trying to get to this place, and they know that it is this perfect place. And the therapist starts getting obsessed with the place as well. And he starts feeling like this isn't just like a memory place that this patient is trying to reach. It is some kind of almost heaven-like place that's real. This is tied for me with that Roger Zelazny for best, and I'm going to be doing a video on this very soon, going over a lot of all the short stories I've read on this channel so far. Really, really cool. Okay. Yeah, For a Breath I Tarry. I keep seeing A Night in Lonesome October by Zelazny, but I'm waiting for Chris to read it for a review. Yeah, I am going through all of Roger Zelazny's work, and I'm going in order. And I got a little bogged down by his kind of science fantasy myth novels. So it started with This Immortal, Call Me Conrad. And this one is like kind of Greek mythology, but it's like science fantasy. And then he did, of course, the big one. What's it called? Lord of Light, which is based on Indian mythology, science fantasy. And then he did an Egyptian one, and I forgot what that's called. But yeah, I just had to take a break for a while. I think what I'm going to do next is read the novella Damnation Alley, which has a Hawkwind song about it. And that one, I read an interview with Roger Zelazny where he said he hates the novel version of Damnation Alley, and he wants people to only read the novella version, the shorter version. He felt like he was kind of pushed into creating that novel version, and he doesn't like it at all. So I'm going to read the novella version of that, and then I'll get back into the Zelazny. So yeah, depending on when that was published, I'll get to it eventually. I don't even know if it's a book of short stories or if it's an actual novel. Okay. Lathe of Heaven-esque. Yes. And if you're interested, I got obsessed with the trope of dream machines, starting with Roger Zelazny's The Dream Master. And I did a whole video on all these books that I had found and that people had recommended to me that were part of this trope. So yeah, there's a lot of them that you can find on the channel. Lonesome October is lots of fun. Good. Thanks. And do read the last question. It's a masterpiece. You'll love it. Will do. Creatures of Light and Darkness is the Egyptian one. That is absolutely correct. Yeah. And that's, I think, where I'm going next. And yeah, I don't know what Zelazny's obsession with this was, but boy, did he love it. He just loved the idea. And I get it. It's a very cool idea, but I just kind of burnt out on it. And I know a lot of people want me to get to Nine Princes in Amber, the first Amber one. But I just got to take a breather for a bit and go back to some of his shorter work, because his shorter work is really in question, really incredible. I may have to give Zelazny another go. Eric, where did you start? I know you, Eric, but I don't know if I know you well enough to guess what you would like by an author. My favorite of his is The Dream Master, which was his first novel. But that is like psychological new wave or science fiction new wave type of mind bender stuff. Lord of Light, I think, is as close as you get to Gene Wolfe style, Book of the New Sun style stuff from Zelazny. Of course, Zelazny came first, where it feels like fantasy, but you have to imagine it in your head as you read it, that all of this is actually technology, not magic, which is really interesting. So you might like one of those, but honestly, the Dream Master, for me as a reader personally, the Dream Master was absolutely incredible. And the ones I've already mentioned on here, I can't remember, I keep forgetting them all. For a Breath I Tarry, absolutely incredible. Rose for Ecclesiastes or however you say that word. Absolutely loved that one too. So far it seems like his shorter fiction is better for me. Eric, you're reading the Elric saga with us, yeah? I think you are. I don't know how Zelazny would measure up to that if we had to put those together. But yeah, unfortunately, I can't say anything about Nine Princes of Amber because I just don't know yet. Someday I will. All right, let's see what else I got just laying around. Oh, I got some new stuff. I got some stuff I can show you. I'm an Indian, and Lord of Light is really good, and the researchers have put it into his exemplary. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I don't know a lot about. I think it's the Hinduism that he's talking about specifically. That's the pantheon that he's using for that novel. I don't know much about it, but yeah, that I didn't have any trouble with that aspect of it at all. I really it felt like he really did his homework and knew what he was talking about. Zelazny's short fiction is a bit underrated. I'm not, but I may jump in. I've read them before. So did you like those, Eric? I'm asking these questions, but I don't know Nine Princes in Amber, so I don't know if they even connect. They might be similar. I have no idea. What's up, Jack? How are you doing? Okay. Zelazny. I got this crazy, weird case, and in it is a ton of Penguin covers. Just all a bunch of Penguin book covers. It was at the Friends of the Library shop, and one was written. I guess I shouldn't show that because it's got an address. One was written on, and then here's an early Stanley Gardner, and then the rest are just and all 100 of them are there. Yeah, I thought it was awesome. I don't know if I'll keep them or send them off. Look at this John Lennon there. I just thought it was really cool. Oh yeah, look at that. Tiger Tiger by Alfred Bester. One that I haven't read, on my list of shame. I need to read that. Elric's stuff is all over the map, from awesome to blah. Okay. Yeah, I've only read the first one so far, so we'll see what I think as I continue to go. Yeah, so I got these, and I was happy that there was a ton of science fiction. I like that one too, though. That's cool. J.D. Salinger, The Catcher in the Rye, one of the most interesting covers ever made. That was there's Roald Dahl's more adult stories. Yeah, I can't find these J.G. Ballards, but I would love, I think there's one called The Crystal World that I would absolutely love to read. Oh, here's another really interesting cover. Look at the work they did on that one. Yeah, so those were very cool. I was glad to find those. And that's just like a third of them. I mean, this thing it's 100. That's really cool. Let's see what people are saying. I'm looking forward to Lord of Light. Very interested in Hindu cosmology. Love the artwork I have seen. Yeah, the version I have, I think I really liked the artwork of it. It's the first edition, but it's a BCE. I hope you guys can hear me when I'm over here. If I just keep talking, I don't know how good my mic is. Let me know if you can hear me when I walk over there. This is my copy. I thought that was pretty cool. The best part about it, though, is Roger Zelazny showing off his nebulas there. Yeah, boss. Science fiction genius right there. I better put some of these down. Okay. Wishing I went to Pulpfest. I'm in Eastern Kentucky, so it wasn't that far, really. Maybe next year. Yeah, I think these guys have set the stage that we're going to be trying to do this as often as we can. Bester is great. Novels and shorts. Yeah, I got to read some Bester. I have that book of postcards. Also have a box that's just sci-fi covers. Ooh, that sounds even cooler. Go Frenzy. What's going on, buddy? I see you in, I think, Jim's Discord. Yeah. Sorry, are those postcards? Where did you find? Yes, they are, Constance. They're postcards. And I think they were produced quite a while ago. I found them at a used bookstore by me. Every time you get up, I zoom in on the shelves behind you. Did you see anything good? Yeah, he's got some nice nebulas, old Zelazny. Now I feel like I got to show that again. Where did I put it? Oh, it got buried. There it is. Nice nebulas. Yeah. Yes, sir. Go Frenzy. All right. Heavy Metal Magazine put out an issue featuring Jack Kirby art for Lord of Light. Really cool issue. Interesting. Yeah, and they recently did. I think they put out a magazine that has Elric on the cover too, and that looked really good. Heavy Metal Magazine. I guess they're producing again. I don't know if they ever stopped, but I remember that, of course, specifically from the 80s. Heavy Metal Magazine. All right, what else do I got around me? Until you guys tell me something you want to see, I'm just going to keep grabbing stuff. I got this. Anybody, is book cover still here? Can tell me what this is? I know it has something to do with folk tales, but I can't figure out what it is. I don't know if book cover is still here. It is definitely old and definitely beat up, but it looked very cool to me. It's going to go in my folk and fairy tale collection. It doesn't look like there's any pictures in it. So I don't know what it is, but it is old. Wild. I got that recently. I'm so excited for spooky season and all the book recs I'm going to get. Oh my gosh, spooky season is going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to it as well. The only thing I know for sure is I'm kicking it off by reading Picnic at Hanging Rock. Forgot who it's by, with Deb, the omnivorous reader, which I'm very excited about. Of course, this is an Australian novel, so Deb and I are excited to talk about it. I told Deb, I said, I want to read an Australian novel with you. And I said, it's embarrassing, but like, this is the only one that I know of. And she said, yeah, we had to read that in school. And I said, what do you think of it? And she said, well, let's read it together, and then I'll give you that opinion later. So I don't know if she hates it and is going to school it, or if she loves it and we're gonna love it. I don't know, but I was obsessed with the movie Picnic at Hanging Rock when I was a kid. I watched it over and over again, so I'm super excited to read that. That's the only part of spooky season I have planned out. Andrea, we should do something. We should do something for spooky season. I know I want to do something with Brian and Virgil as well. Yeah, we gotta plan some crazy good spooky season stuff, because it's the most wonderful time of the year and the scariest. They're back. Okay, the Elric cover is issue 2. I picked it up this week. I'm gonna have to go grab it too. I bet it's at Barnes and Noble, so I'm gonna have to go grab it. Yeah, spooky season. Love it. I've got a new book of short stories coming for Sam Hain. All right. I said Sam Hain wrong. I'm sorry. I know there's a very specific way to say that. Hell yeah. It truly is the most wonderful time of year. When you come back to U.S. after living in Japan, what were the biggest culture shocks for your ex-wife? So, yeah, when we moved out here, that's a really interesting question. I think that this is going to sound really strange. That's a hell of a topic that I could do a whole video on. I think that there is a strange that we as Americans don't really notice that the kind of existence of individuality, and that sounds terrible, because I'm not saying Japan is not individual. They absolutely are, but their culture has a tendency to focus a little bit more on community than we do. We have a tendency to focus on the individual a little more than community, and they focus a little bit more on community than the individual in their overall culture. And I think that it was very strange when my ex-wife first got here, for her to try and fit in and embrace a form of individuality that she thought was very loud compared to her culture that she came from. And it feels really weird. I wish that I'll be seeing her a little later today. But it feels weird to speak for her. I don't like that as much, but this is kind of what I found that we talked about a lot. Yeah. So she felt this kind of oppressive need to express herself in a way that was reserved for her for private, to as you're individual in private, you're part of a community in public, and she felt like that she had to be an individual in public. That was just off the cuff. That's kind of what I remember. Yeah, hopefully that answered your question. When you come back, that was it. Thank you, Constance. That was a great question. For me, everything's louder. It's really crazy. Like I felt like everything when I came back from Japan, everything was like so stressful and loud and busy, and everybody's pissed and trying to get where they're going, and everybody else is in their way, and yeah, it just felt. And I'm not saying there's no stress in Japan. There's a shitload of stress in Japan, but it comes from different areas in a bit of a different way. So, yeah, just the loudness of public spaces and the stress and the anger of people just in everyday life situations was a little shocking. Greg Egan is a great Australian author. Oh, nice, Matthew. And thank you for joining us. The first chapter of Diaspora is a fantastic little short story about AI. That sounds wonderful. Greg Egan. Okay. I've heard of Egan. Is he a modern writer, or is this an older writer? Yeah, that's awesome. I would love that video, Chris. Yeah, I'm surprised by how much people like to hear about my time in Japan and my love of Japanese literature on this channel. I was afraid to introduce this concept, and people really embraced it. So that's very cool. Tim Wilton is an interesting Australian artist. Awesome. I liked Phil Steph had to go through quite a process to get here, and then this final end. My phone is junk. The short story version of The Dream Master. Now, okay, this is so the short story. It's not a short story. It's a novella. It's called The Ides of no. What's it called? God, I have the original magazines they were put in, but I can't remember. Oh, where's my best? Oh, it's over there. Let's see if I can get this, and then I can tell you the exact name of it. I know he wanted to call it The Ides of October. And it opens with the Ides, the beware the Ides or whatever. I can't remember, but yeah, he wanted to call it The Ides of October, but it's called He Who Shapes. But there is one, and I talk about this on my deep dive. There is one chapter that is in the novel version that is probably one of the best chapters in the entire book. And if you read He Who Shapes, you're going to miss this chapter. And it is from the point of view of a blind woman seeing eye dog. But in the future, they've done some work on kind of genetically enhancing dogs. So this dog is smarter than most other dogs because he's had this genetic stuff done to him. And there is a chapter where he steals her self-driving car and goes out into the wild and tries to reconnect with his old or other dogs, and he really can't do it, and it's absolutely beautifully done. And so every time I recommend The Dream Master, there's another chapter that he added in the novel version that sucks and is kind of boring and doesn't do anything for the novel, but it might be worth reading that just to get that exact chapter with the dog. It's some of the best dog science fiction I've ever read. Although I'm going to be reading City soon, and apparently there could be some more dog stuff that I'm really going to love. By the way, this best of Roger Zelazny from SF Masterworks. I think mine is a UK edition. Yeah, 12 pound, 90. That's how you say it. This is a Galnax SF Masterworks version. Has the best table of contents for Roger Zelazny ever. It does have For a Breath I Tarry. It does have A Rose for Ecclesiastes. It has Damnation Alley, the original novella. And it has He Who Shapes, the original novella that became The Dream Master. Really, really fantastic table of contents there. If you want to pause, there you go. So yeah, this would be fun cover to cover. It really would. Greg is still alive and working. Okay. Heck yeah, booktuber. Dogs are the best. And it's funny because I'm a cat owner. I own cats, and I love cats, but I also love seeing other people's dogs. That's my favorite. Can't own a dog just because I don't think I could give the amount of attention to a dog that a dog needs to be happy, and I would hate for a dog to be unhappy in any way. So I don't own them. I own cats. Yeah. Okay, let's see. What else did I get? I've been eyeing that book for a while. It's a really good one. Oh yeah, Sirius by Stapleton is another good sci-fi dog story. Heck yeah. Yeah, and Stapleton's like classic sci-fi. I gotta check that out. That's awesome. I got some other stuff I can show. Jurgen by James Branch Cabell, and I know that I have Cable. I know that I have some Cabell or Cable in my collection of Ballantine adult fantasy books, and I'm not sure if Jurgen is one of them, but I don't have this one. I've heard it's really really good. So kind of early fantasy there. I don't know if anybody's read it. If you have, let me know what you think. Thanks for joining us, Matthew G. I hope that I'll leave the stream on for the dog. Yes, I love that. Yeah, also, of course, the EEBS video is coming up. So hopefully when you're back from your errand, you can jump on and see the EEBS guys tell us how they are doing at Pulpfest. And that's going to be on in 60 minutes, YouTube tells me up here. I also got The Dead Secret by Wilkie Collins. Oh. And that looks really interesting. I've read a few Wilkie Collins. The Moonstone, I think. But this looks really interesting. I gratefully dedicate this edition to the American people. Yeah, I can't read all that, but they printed in a little dedication there. That was very nice. Yeah, so I don't know if this is a horror or if this is probably a detective novel, but that looks really, really good. Propagandist by Murray Leinster is a great dog. Oh my God, you guys, we gotta do a whole dog thing. We're gonna have to do it. I had a dog thing for a while, and then I did a cat thing. So it looks like we got more dog stories to read. And I'm doing City soon, so maybe I'll have to read this Leinster and this Stapleton, and just do a little dog thing on my channel for a while. Thailand's Carrot Cats. Oh, the Russian Blues are so beautiful, but cannot get one because they are high maintenance. And wife says no. Yeah. Yeah, my cats are very low maintenance, although my Bartleby is getting older. So the maintenance on him might go up a little bit, but he's been just the best pet I've ever had. I swear he's half dog. I love him. The best cat ever. I loved The Dog of the Drop by Gene Wolfe. Very short story. Wow, Constance, I don't know that one. I wonder if I have it. Yes, Lawnmower Dog is one of my favorite Rick and Morty episodes. Yeah, that is good dog science fiction too. I just remember, I think Summer wakes up and he's there with his robot suit saying, "Where are my balls, Summer?" Yeah. Dogs domesticated humans. Yes to Dog Day Afternoon. I got a kitty. She is great, and I have City to read soon too. Just got a copy. Nice. Yeah, I've got 3 cats. The one I got, Bartleby, he's my buddy, and then my daughter brought in 2 strays. One that is a little black cat named Cole. We absolutely love her, but she's still crazy. She goes out and like will kill rabbits and stuff. So I try to keep her in, but she was living for a long time. She grew up on her own outdoors, so I can't keep her in entirely. And then the other cat we got is a little calico named Minnie, and she, when we got her, she was very young, and she had been bitten by a dog or a coyote on her rump. She had like 4 piercings, so we had to take her to the vet, and then she went into heat, and we had to get that figured out. And finally, we got her back, and she's a wonderful cat. She's so good with people, but she cannot handle other animals. So I have to keep Minnie, and Naomi, sorry, my daughter absolutely loves Minnie. So I can't just get rid of Minnie. We love her, but we have to keep them separated, or poor Minnie will go crazy. Do you know The Boy Who Drew Cats? Fabulous Asian story. That sounds familiar to me. The boy, could you tell me who it's by? The Boy Who Drew Cats. Oh. I don't know. That sounds kind of familiar to me, but probably not. I'm going to say that I don't. Yeah. I have I Am a Cat by Soseki Natsume. Tanazaki's A Cat, a Man, and Two Women, book of short stories. Yeah, a lot of cats in Japanese literature, a lot more than dogs, I think. All right, let's see what else I got here. I got really cool BCE of Fahrenheit 451. I think this is my now oldest version of this book. There's a picture of Ray Bradbury on the back, just like straight up staring into the future. Yeah. As you can tell, they really did a lot of work on that cover. Yeah, this is, I think, a 67 edition. Let me see. Got this at a yard sale. Yeah, 67. Simon and Schuster edition. It's got an orange top. The rest of it's regular. Ray Bradbury. Staring off into the future. Roger Zelazny showing off his nebulas. Ray Bradbury staring into the future. Look at these guys. Crazy guys. Got something really interesting that I've already talked to Andrea a bit about. This is called Time Burial by Howard Wandre. I hope I'm saying that right. And this is the brother of Donald Wandre. That looks like, what's the guy that did the same art for? Look at this crazy art. Can you tell me who it is? But yeah, apparently Donald Wandre, the guy that co-founded Arkham House Press, his brother Howard Wandre was a weird tales writer, and he's got a couple of collections of these crazy fantasy weird tales. So this looked really interesting, and I'm glad to have found it. Now let me grab who I think that artist is, because I think I have more pictures by him. If I can pull this out easily, I can. That's the sound of a barrister bookcase opening. I hear that in my dreams sometimes. Let's see. You need to do a video on sci-fi and fantasy stories. There's one being planned, absolutely. Dog Drop is in Wolf's collection. Starwater Strains. I don't have that one, but I do have a couple of his collections. That cover of 451 shows the temperature rising because the red part is like mercury rising up a thermometer. Yes. Well done there. That's the hard work they put into that cover right there. Curtis saw it. Oh, I'm picky about book covers. I really am. So much work goes. The writer puts so much work into these stories, man. Like every cover should just be blowing our minds constantly. They should, I don't know. The Boy Who Drew Cats is a Japanese fairy tale translated by Lafcadio O'Hearn. Yes. Thank you. Oh, I covered. There's big stacks in front of my Japanese literature here, so I can't pull that out. I don't know. I don't think it's in Kaidon. Maybe it is in Kaidon. Yes. I'll find a copy of that and hold it up sometime. Not on this video, because I'd have to be gone for like 20 minutes and you guys would just be sitting here staring at my bookshelves. Is Arkham House still alive? Andrea, I'm glad you're here. She says no. That's a great topic. I don't know what topic. Dang it. You just said it. Yeah. So no, I don't think Arkham House is still alive, unfortunately. Oh, so I believe, so this is the first American edition of The Gods of Pagana by Lord Dunsany, a book that I spent way too much on at an antiquarian book fair in Colorado. I think, Pagana, I'm sorry. There's a line above the A there. Pagana. Great read with art by S.H. Syme, but that can't be the same. Maybe I think I'm wrong. I think of what I'm thinking of with this other one is there was a writer that, or an artist that did literature. Oh, maybe I'm not wrong. Okay, look at this. A little bit of foxing there on the book. And then look at this. And then I think there's an Edgar Allan Poe Tales of Mystery and Imagination, illustrated by the author. Okay. There's another level to this. Howard Wandre, the brother of Donald Wandre, I hope I'm saying this right, wrote for these magazines, has a couple of collections of short stories that I'm super excited about, including one called The Glass Coffin here. And he also illustrated them. Although I'm not seeing any illustrations. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, I guess that is the same guy illustrating his own work. That's the dream right there. I could draw little stick figures for my stories, but it's about all that would happen. Okay. Yeah, so there you go. I was super happy about finding this book because I love these early weird tales. And there's so many out there that nobody knows about that can be discovered, I think. I think that's what keeps Andrea buying them. Maybe that's part of it. I don't want to throw this Lords of Pagana on the ground because it's old. Yeah, so I was very happy to get that. All right. No, Arkham House is not still alive. Oh, book covers is a great topic. Yeah, that is a good topic. I feel like Grammaticus had the last word on that one when he talked to that person from the publisher's house, and they talked about book covers now need to look good in small grayscale on Kindles, so they have to be simple, and which to me I don't care about, but a lot of people do, so I don't know. About book covers, what do you think a good cover should have in relation to the story? I feel like and it's hard because it's expensive. And I would love to talk to Jill Bauman. I got to send her an email. She did a bunch of 80s horror covers. She also did Clifford Simak's. Is it no, not Project Pope? She did the one, yeah, with the the one Way Station. She did the famous picture for Way Station, and that's a perfect example, right? Way Station by Clifford Simak is about a guy who's I don't know if this is spoilers. His garden shed happens to also be this way station for aliens to come through Earth, and it's got a picture on the cover of this old guy sitting on his porch with an alien leaning over and giving him a cup of coffee, or sharing a cup of coffee. They might be looking at something together. God, I got to go get this book now. Give me just 1 second. I actually have to use the library ladder for this one, if I can find it. Yeah. I'm going to grab this other Jill Bauman while I'm here, too. You guys got me going on something. That's always fun. That's what I hope for. Go live, don't know what you're going to talk about. And then, his house is the way station. Thank you, Vilsteph. Yeah, like that. I feel like Jill Bauman read the novel and created a scene of the novel and a beautiful piece of artwork. It's incredible. It really is. And I think that's kind of what I look for. It doesn't have to be my specific favorite kind of art. It has to be connected to the story in some fashion. I think about the cover for It. That's in my room. I'm not going to run and get it. But the first edition cover of It, where it just has Georgie's boat going towards the sewer and a sewer grate and just this creepy hand with like 3 fingers coming out. And it just says It, and it's absolutely incredible. Such a wonderful cover for the book. And maybe the artist only read the first section, right? I mean, that's literally the prologue to the entire novel is just that. But that's enough, right? Because I can't imagine these artists would have the time to read every novel they have to do a painting for. It's too much. It's too crazy. And of course, I feel like these publishers should pay big for these covers. This is the perfect cover. There you go. Doesn't really fit the book at all. Anyway, I'm sorry. Elizabeth Engstrom also does the cover for When Darkness Loves Us. And when I first read it, I was like, okay, it's a doll with a broken face, but that has nothing to do with When Darkness Loves Us. But when I finished the book, there's 2 novellas in here. The first one is When Darkness Loves Us. And the second one is, I forgot, Beauty Is, which I'm going to be talking about with my Secret Society brothers pretty soon. And Beauty Is about a woman that is born with no nose. She's completely missing her nose, and this doll suddenly makes perfect sense. There's no doll in this story with a nose broken off, but this is an interpretation of the woman who is the lead in Beauty Is in doll form. It's incredible. Yeah, really, really good stuff. Really fun. Okay, let's see what people are saying. I love talking about book covers. Me too. The hardback cover of Brave New World with a Soma pill is so simple and so great. Oftentimes less is more on covers, except for fantasy and horror, where more is more. Yeah. I'm thinking of Ubik by Philip K. Dick. Kind of a simple cover that's amazing. Kind of an Andy Warhol pop art style makes me think of. Let me pull this down. I mean, that's just a classic right there. Really, really simple, but very, very cool. And again, takes the book into consideration, right? It's not just a picture of a flower that's slightly out of focus, which I feel like almost every book that I get that's new has got a picture of a flower on it that's slightly out of focus. AI has so much potential for horror book covers to be specific and unique. To be specific and unique to your own work. I haven't really played with AI. My kid did a bit, but I have a tendency to try and stay away from it. It's the future, but it ripped a bunch of people off. It's a crazy topic that I don't really want to get into. I'm working on covers for short stories right now. As I listen, I'm using stock art. Nice. His house is the way station. Everyone in chat, do you have a favorite color illustration? Or cover illustration? Yeah, let's see. I do book covers for a writer. It's always interesting to get his email of what he wants. He wants real simple drawings, paintings. I think that's the way it's going now, because you have to consider that your book's going to be a thumbnail, right? On Amazon, your book's going to be a thumbnail. On Kindle, it's going to be, well, I don't know. The only Kindle I ever used, I used it for a couple of months and then I got rid of it and I've never had one since. But they were black and white, small versions of the covers. Yeah. The quirkier, the better. Hey man, I just finished the Futurological Congress last night. I started it based off your recommendation and couldn't stop until it's finished. Thank you. You bet, Papa John. Welcome to the live stream. Yeah, the first half of that book, I was like, what is going on here? This is some weird satire. And then the second half, some of the best sci-fi ever. I mean, just wild. The layers being broken down, absolutely incredible. I'm glad you enjoyed it. A good cover for Waystation would be Wallace with his rifle walking against the wind. Nice. I love that cover of it, except I think it'd be more effective without showing the claw. I know that's the catch of the image, but I think it oversells it. The drain pipe is ominous enough already. Oh, man. Curtis. God. So Curtis is a really good artist, knows more about art than I do. And I can't think of it gone because of nostalgia. So you may be right. But I couldn't, I just remember seeing it when I was like 10 and just staring at it and going, oh my God, what is in that sewer? And maybe I would have had that thought without the claw, but the claw with the name It. And I tried to do a video on this and it failed miserably. Nobody really watched it, but I did a video where I talk about the first 100 pages of It, and how brilliant. I don't go any further, just the first 100 pages, Stanley Uris's death. And I think that's the right name. And what I wanted to do was try, and I should have talked about the cover in this video. I wanted to try and explain to people what it was like before we knew about Pennywise the Clown, before Tim Curry played him and all this stuff, when it was just this book, and how good, first off, the title is. I mean, just for a horror book, oh my God, it's so good. And how good the cover is. And then the buildup of those first 100 pages, so scary. Speaking of good, simple covers, the first edition of Cujo is one of my favorites in horror. Also have a nice cover of Clockwork Orange with just a glass of milk on it. Yeah, nice. Yeah. The Cujo is also a cover very, very dear to me, just because that's the first adult book I ever read was Cujo. What's the worst cover ever apart from Interview with a Vampire? Hey, I like this better. I like this better than the actual Interview with a Vampire cover, which is just gold. Yeah, at least this has a picture on it. One thing I really don't like is just a book that has text on it. I am not a big fan of this. I really am not. Yeah, Constance, that's interesting because for me, so it's the first. I mean, they have Georgie at the beginning, and then if I'm thinking of the right person, Stanley, the adult Stanley. We don't know who he is. We don't know who this person is. He seems happy. Then he gets a phone call that says it's happening again, which is scary as hell. And I just keep myself in my mindset of I didn't know this story. I didn't know this story. Um, so there's just some guy I don't know that seems really cute with his wife, and then all of a sudden he gets this phone call that it's come back, and this is so this could be plot spoilers for the first 100 pages of it. That is so terrifying to him that he goes up and takes a bath, and does himself in and writes in his own blood on the wall, "It." And it's sad, um, but it also is like a masterclass in horror tension building. So incredible. Like, what is it? Something that just the mention of is enough to make somebody do that. Whew. Incredible. Incredible. Sturgeon also did. I like Sturgeon, but I've gone far enough away that I don't remember what that is. Just tell me what you're referring to there, Bill Steff. I'll look into your It video. I think it has some of King's best writing and some of his absolute worst. So I think I should review it myself. I agree. The start is excellent. Yeah, I only talk about the first 100 pages, and it's not the best video. I was young, young YouTuber, just an infant YouTuber at that point. But yeah, it's I feel it's so hard to express how awesome that was before. It's like, yeah, it's like The Sixth Sense. Like, does anybody born now watch The Sixth Sense without knowing the twist? I don't know. Oh, Theodore Sturgeon did a story called It. Fantastic. I'm gonna have to look into that. Yeah, Sephiros, I decided just to do a tailgating for the EEBS video coming up. Get people worked up because it's exciting. Yeah, I'm excited to see what all those guys are doing over there at Pulpfest. Also, I was bored, and also I have I'm sad that I'm not there with everybody. So I decided to see if I could drum up some people and eventually send them over to the EEBS live show that's coming up in 35 minutes, everybody. 35 minutes, we'll be watching EEBS talking about live at Pulpfest. It's going to be exciting. The Great Family Reads version graphic novel of Do Androids Dream is the worst cover ever. Great Family Reads? What a fan. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to look this up. I'm not familiar with it at all. I didn't even know they did a graphic novel of Do Androids Dream. That's crazy. Oh, what's up, Tim? Yeah, sorry. I was bored, and then I was excited you guys were going live, and so I decided to resurrect my idea of doing tailgating parties for live videos that are coming up. It's ridiculous, but it's what I'm doing. So hopefully we'll get a lot of people to move from this over to the live when we're done. Okay. Here's another thing I found recently, and maybe Tim can tell me something about this. Does anybody know anything about Poul Anderson's Dominic Flandry, A Stone in Heaven? Got a wild cover there, but it's not something that I would usually grab. It didn't really catch my eye, but then I opened the cover. Look at that. And I was like, oh, that's a really cool picture, but I don't know if I'm going to buy a whole book for a cool picture. I mean, look at that cat. That's the coolest cat right there. That's a cool cat. And then I turned the page and turned the page and turned the page and found that whoever did the art in this did like a ton of it. Like, this is every other page. It's incredible. It's not a comic book, but it is a very well illustrated book, and I had to buy it just for that. And I have no idea if this is a good book or not, but damn, if this artist didn't have an incredible time. I mean, if you just look at the side of the book and I do like this, you can see how much art is in this thing. It's incredible. And it doesn't tell me. It says massively illustrated down here at the bottom. Let's see if it tells me who's massively illustrating it. Poul Anderson, A Stone in Heaven. The afterword is by that person, Sandra Meisel. Illustration, copyright 1979 by Esteban Morato. So I guess Esteban Morato is the one that did it. But boy, they should have advertised him a little bit more than just putting a copyright there with his name. Yeah. But yeah, wow, the art on that one. Oh, Tim's never heard of it. Okay. Yeah, it looks like a little bit of cyberpunk, science fantasy, maybe. That artist went all in. Yeah, seriously. Like I'm telling you, I wouldn't have, I mean, it's got a fine cover. I like that cover. It's not terrible. It's really cool, but it's not one I would usually grab. But God, the minute I opened it, I was like, dude, somebody really worked their ass off in this. I'm in the middle of illustrating a book too. Also, holy crap, so much art in that book. Yeah. Like, how much did they pay this guy? This guy like read 2 pages, did a drawing, read 2 pages, did a drawing. It's amazing. Phil Steff's fighting with his phone. Get out of here, Tim. You're supposed to be enjoying Pulpfest. This isn't for you, Tim. Yeah, he's going to be showing us how much he's enjoying Pulpfest soon. Oh, man. Seeing all you guys meeting each other has been awesome. Really, really wild. There's wild for you, Constance. Yeah, I'm excited for this live that's going in about 30 minutes. I couldn't believe it. I was just shocked. Like how much would you have to pay to have somebody do that much work for a book? I mean, it's going to be a ton. It's incredible. And I don't know. I might have to try to read it, see if it's good. I think Phil Steff's still fighting with his phone, or I'm not understanding something. Sandra Meisel. He's telling me how to say Sandra's name. Thank you, Bill Steff. I'm not familiar with Sandra Meisel. Do you know who she is? I think he did the Zora strip in early heavy metal magazines. Oh, wow. The same illustrator? Somebody look that up. That's cool. I can't figure out where I put the book now. I threw it down somewhere. That's interesting. I got to read more Kurt Vonnegut, and I might start here. Great cover on that. Is that a Freeze cover? Kelly Freeze? That's my guess. I might be wrong. Let's look this up. Oh, an academic sci-fi critic. Interesting. Sandra Meisel. Thank you for telling me how to say the name. Who is doing this awesome Sirens of Titan? Is this a good place to start? It's a Dale first edition of this novel. I don't know if this is the first or if there was a hardback. 1966. Oh, it looks like it came out in 59. So the first Dell version was 66. So yeah, this is a later print. But it's a first Dell edition. Who did that cover? Cover illustration, Teasin. Who's Teasin? I've come across Teasin quite a bit, but I can't think of his first name. Teasin. Yeah. because it's comic style art with very simple shading, he's likely getting paid panel page prices like he'd be getting as a freelance comic illustrator. My guess, that makes sense. It doesn't look, none of that art looks easy to me. It's so incredible. I believe the wild score is up to 6. I just said it though. Must tear myself away for now for some errands. Thanks so much, all. Yeah, go see EEBS if when you come back from errands. Nope, just checked and it's not him. Dang. Yeah, this isn't Freeze. This is Teason. Oh, William Teason. William Teason is my dude. He's the guy that did. I had a shirt with a William Teason on it. We have always lived in the castle. You guys got to tell me if you can continue to hear me as I go to my shelves. I might just be talking to myself. I don't know. Where did it go? Where did it go? In the horror section. Yes. Yeah, William Teason is incredible. This is the second I've found by him. Sorry, it's in plastic. Yes. And you can see Teason is written on the, if it will focus, it won't. Teason is written on one of those logs. Oh, good. I'm glad you can hear. Perfect. Yeah. So now we know 2 Teasons. There we go. Look at that. Cool. Yeah. Is this a good place to start with Vonnegut? I think I read. Yeah. I think I read, I can't think of it now. Cat's Cradle. But that's it. No, Slaughterhouse 5. I read it in college. Yeah, so there you go, Teason. Is this a good place to start with Vonnegut? I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, Curtis, I'm sorry. I keep showing it off to you. We can hear you. We can hear you good. It's Batman. Yeah, Batman. Yeah, so there we go. I like it. I'm making a mess. I'm making a big old mess here, y'all. Has anybody read? Oh, Slaughterhouse 5 is the only one I've read. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of people like I feel like he is considered one of the greatest science fiction writers ever. But I don't see a lot of people talking about a lot of his work. Maybe I'm missing it. I don't know. Has anybody read the Santa Roga Barrier by Frank Herbert? I did my 11 weird videos or 11 books for weirdos or whatever. And somebody in the comments said, you got to read the Santa Roga Barrier. And I've read Whipping Star and Heaven Makers by Frank Herbert. And now I'm thinking about doing this one. Yeah, it's strange. A lot of people, I guess it's similar to Kurt Vonnegut. A lot of people talk about Dune, but nobody else talks about, or not a lot of people talk about the other stuff he did. And he did a ton of other stuff. And I feel like these are more digestible chunks when it comes right down to it. I loved Whipping Star. I thought it was a really good time. And I really liked the Heaven Makers too. Really wild. Deb at Omnivorous Reader just recently put out a really wonderful review of Heaven Makers. If you haven't seen that one, it's really good. So I'm thinking about reading this soon. Santa Roga Barrier by Frank Herbert. Early Vonnegut is the best, but his last book, Galapagos, is also his best. Sirens is a great place to start. Awesome. Thank you, BookTuber. Yeah, I think I will give it a go. All right, we're getting close. I'm going to grab a stack of stuff Jake sent me. Show that off. Give me just a second. Had to go all the way to the room for that one. Jake just did a book haul that was so epic. So Jake and I randomly one day had a count off of just our science fiction. Herbert is a lot like Vonnegut. Oh, Herbert is nothing like Vonnegut. Yeah, I was just commenting on the fact that people read them in a similar fashion. That people will read the really popular books by those artists and perhaps not all the other ones. Which cover are you talking about? For which book? Oh, for this Santa Roga Barrier. Nice. I like it when people just freaking call out artists because they know their names. Let's see if I'm checking you here. It's not going to tell me, of course. That I'll never understand. Like, how can you not tell us who does the cover? That's crazy talk. I'm just going to say you are right because you said that with such confidence. Bam. Nice Paul Lair cover. All right. Tim sent me some stuff. Tim. Anyway, I'm sorry. So, Tim. Jake sent me some stuff. Jake and I counted our books. He had 1,600 pulp science fiction paperbacks. I don't think we counted magazines because I think like over 500 old analogs and galaxies and ifs and all those. But we did. That'd be a fun live to do sometimes. Just bringing my stack of analogs or galaxies or whatever. So he had 1,600, and I think I just barely cracked 1,000. So yeah, he definitely won that one. But then right after that, or during that, he went and got this book haul. The books were like 50 cents a piece, and he got right before Pulpfest. I'm really excited. This is one of the questions we got to ask him: is did he have any money left for Pulpfest? Because he bought 750 of these books. So now he's well over 2,000 pulp books, although I don't know how many doubles he got. But yeah, he has a ton of books, but he had some doubles, and he asked me if I wanted any of them. And so I got the Alexei Panshin, and I've never read any Alexei Panshin, but I remember Richard Rempel was reading all the Ace sci-fi special books, and Panshin was one of them that he gave a good review to, and it sounds like something I'd really like. Give me a second. So yeah, I'm interested in this writer now. I'm gonna check him out. He also sent me, I always say this person's name wrong, a Doris Pasurchia book. This is somebody that was mentioned a lot by viewers in my Books for Weirdos video. They said this is some real hallucinatory, strange fantasy that they think I would love. So yeah, I'm keeping my eye out for anything that she's published. That's got a cool cover. Come on, camera, you got it. There you go. Yeah, look at that crazy cover. I don't know if they're going to tell us, but yeah, I was excited for that one. They're not going to tell us who did the cover because they're mean. And then he had these DAW books, all by Gregory Kern, who I'm not familiar with at all, but they were all Black Spine DAWs. And I know Black Spine were later, but I don't really have. Yeah, I have a couple of her other DAWs as well. I'm not really familiar with Black Spine DAWs. I know it's a later thing, but they're really cool looking. So I was just like, yeah, I gotta get some Black Spine DAWs, and they're all Cap Kennedy books. Secret Agent of the Spaceways. Yeah. Random numbers in the Cap Kennedy series. Anybody know about this at all? Anybody know about Gregory Kern? Yeah. Wait, where are we? I did a lot of DAWs. Panshin's Rite of Passage is great. Yeah, that's why I grabbed this one. That's the one Richard Rempel was talking about. Just found a DAW today where the spine was just a part of the wraparound art. Yeah, they started doing that later as well. I don't know what came first, these ones or the ones where they just let the spine be part of the art. Doris A is awesome. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Didn't buy it, probably should have. Yeah, I know that DAWs are harder for you guys to get out there, Sephiros, in the UK, Scotland, Ireland, all that, Europe. Yeah. Billy Pilgrim has come unstuck in time is one of the greatest first lines. Oh, from Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse. Yeah. Cap Kennedy, low quality space opera. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, this is always a hard question for me because I got to think of space. But I'm sure I have a ton of low quality DAWs, considering the size of my DAW collection. But I just love the, I don't know, I guess it's just the collector in me. I just love collecting things. I don't know. Yeah. Cap Kennedy. We'll see how long I keep these, because I am definitely collecting the yellow spines. I don't know if I'm collecting all of them. And then he sent me Satan's Child by Peter Saxon, a book with a drawing on it that has some very interestingly placed flowers doing the censoring for him there. This is in Paperbacks from Hell. Peter Saxon, I believe, is a name that was used by many writers to write these kind of horror pulps. Yeah, really wild stuff. I don't know how good the contents are actually, but the cover is great. Who does the cover? At first, I would have said Frazetta, but I don't think that's a Frazetta. They're not going to tell us. It says cover printed in the USA. Cover printed in the USA. At the very bottom line there, but they're not telling us who. Yeah, who did that cover? Maybe people know. Jeff Jones, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I only have 6, I believe. Yeah. DAWs are hard to come by. I did buy this Wicked Cyborg by Ron Goulart today. Ron Goulart is interesting because he has some of the best DAW art. Like, his covers are crazy. Is he the one that did Hell Hibbler? Himbler? Yeah, it's just crazy weird stuff. And I don't know if Goulart is any good. But yeah, he has some of the best covers. Yeah. Hibbler. I think it's a satellite. It's like a HIBBLR, but it's definitely a kind of like Theodore Sturgeon's Iron Dream. I think it has something to do with some kind of Nazi imagery or something, but the cover is just ridiculous. So silly. Yeah, that's right. I collect. Yeah, maybe Jeff Jones did it. Yeah, so that's what was sent to me by Jake, and that was very cool. And then Virgil sent me something a while ago. Let's see if I can put my hands on it. And I should have said something about this earlier, but I keep putting it off. Yeah, Virgil very kindly sent me a DAW that would have been very difficult to ever get. And that is Michael Shea's Niftaline. I think that's Michael Whelan on the cover, right? Doing that cover. And this book is very expensive, which was very nice of Virgil to send this to me. I couldn't believe it. And it's in really good shape. I think this is the version that he read. It is Jeff Jones. It is Jeff Jones. Thanks, Goblin. Lots of YMMV with Goulart. I have that book, not the DAW release though. You talking about Nift the Lean? Yeah, this DAW release with the Wheelan cover is apparently quite rare to get, and I never would have been able to get it for my collection at the price. Maybe eventually. Oh, nice. Nift is Wheelan. I have a couple of those I got for 50 cents. That's the way you do it. Yeah, a large chunk of, actually probably most of my DAW collection. I think I bought, the only DAW I ever bought, because I knew it was going to be impossible to find in the wild, was DAW number 12, which is a Dean Koontz book. The Darkness in My Soul, I believe it's called. Yeah, that's the only DAW I bought on eBay, because I knew I was going to have trouble getting that one. And it's weird because I need like 15 more to have the first 100 DAWs completely, which I want to make a video on. Although truly, I'd probably break it into like stacks of 33 if I did it for videos. But yeah, I might have to go get a lot of those on eBay. I hope not, but it's weird. These last 15, you got to be kidding me. I have 3 copies of DAW number 12. Are you in the States, Chris? Yeah. In Romanian, it means mothballs. What, Nift? Oops. Your mileage may vary. Vampirilla has the best covers. I do remember those old Vampirilla covers. Make a list of what you're missing. It's already done. I do have a list. No, UK. Wow. Wow. How did you get 3 copies of that? That's crazy. That is really wild. Because, I mean, like Sephiroth said, he has, I think he said 5, right? DAWs. They're harder to come across. Yeah, I do have a list, Goblin. Maybe I'll put it up on the on one of the Discords and see what people have. I'm going to grab this Dean Koontz just so everybody can see it. It's the rarest in the first 100, I believe. Although that might not be true. There are a couple of Philip K. Dicks, but I have those. Yeah. Also, this eBay store, I couldn't believe how good this eBay store was that I bought this from. They made a library. It's in a bag. They bagged it, and then they made a library card. And then they actually printed on the card what book I bought from them and said, thank you. I mean, it's incredible. What a wild idea. So yeah, that's I keep that on there because I absolutely loved it. Now let's see if I can open this. I can. And that's, for some odd reason, this DAW is super rare. I don't know. It's not gonna, I really wish that it would. There you go. Yeah, really cool. I really loved it. So there you go. That's the only one. Everything else I found just out and about, which is kind of how I love to do it. Yeah, that DAW collection. I was in not El Paso, but the town in New Mexico right before. Las Cruces. I was in Las Cruces, and there's a bookstore there, and I went in, and somebody had just given a bunch, and I think I spent like $700 on DAWs at like 50 cents a piece. It was wild. I got so many books, and it wasn't just DAWs. There was a ton of other stuff, but yeah, I spent a ton. That was quite a few years back. Naphthalene is the same in English. Mothballs. I wonder if the name was a pun. Oh, niphthalene, naphthalene. Interesting. You might be onto something there. I don't know. Yeah, I thought that was a nice touch as well. Looks like they want the book back. You're only borrowing it. He brought a knife to a UFO fight. It's a pretty big knife, though. And those are some small UFOs. Maybe he can take them, or maybe they're far away. I don't know. Who is this? I wonder. Usually, Daw will tell you. Wow, published by the New American Library of Canada Limited. The New American Library of Canada Limited. They're not. I feel like I spend half my time on lives waiting for that thing to focus. I'm giving up. Cover painting by Jack Gone. I should be able to spot his now, but I really can't. My voice is giving out, but that's okay because Pulpfest stuff is coming in 7 minutes. So we'll start wrapping this up. Get over there to the EEBS. Nift can be pretty weird. Shay was a Jack Vance worshiper. Interesting. Yeah, I've read one Jack Vance that I absolutely loved and one that I didn't like as much. I didn't hate it. I just didn't like it as much. I loved the first book in the Dying Earth, and I wasn't a huge fan of The Last Castle, which Tim recently read and said he wasn't much of a fan either. Lord of the Rings Special Edition Portfolio Collection has the best handbook cover, only 4,000. Oh, good Lord. I don't know much about this stuff. Could you explain what the big deal is with DAWs? In my opinion, and this will be my last thought because Andrea is right to say we got to get over there. DAWs had the best artists. They just the art is incredible. DAWs make the best art. Yeah, all the best Philip K. Dick art comes from DAW. Like they just their artists were incredible, really incredible. All right, everybody, I am going to wind this down. I do really hope that you'll come with me over to the EEBS live show. I already spammed part of it with comments because I was bored before I decided to go live. But yeah, let's all head over there together. Let's make sure they have a bunch of people watching right when they show up because this is going to be epic. This is a huge event for our wonderful quarter of BookTube. So yeah, let's all head over there and I will see you all in the comments. Great idea, Lim. Nice stream. Insomniacs in Asia love it. Lots of fan cachet with DAWs. Yeah. All right. We'll see you guys next time, and I'll see you over on the EEBS live show in 5 minutes. Thank you.